Yo, everyone, this is a ridiculous video because I never thought I'd do this. So many people in my comments were asking, oh, can you play AP RAKAN? Can you give AP RAKAN a test for me? And I really just thought they were trolling. Like, I thought AP RAKAN was strictly trolling, especially if you're playing him mid or playing him in a carry role. He has very limited damage output. However, recently in high elo, I've been seeing a lot of people run an AP RAKAN build. Now, the RAKAN build that I would usually go is this one here. If you want to screenshot it, let me know. You just rush Zeke's Herald and then you go into many other items that may be necessary for the game, like Randuin's, like Protector's Vow, etc. However, I gave AP RAKAN a go, and there is one reason and one reason only that AP RAKAN is good, and I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to start show you, kind of like some of the damage that each of the abilities deal with the items that I've got right now, which are Rod of Ages, Rabadon's Death Cap, plus a random redemption, right? So the dummies have got 100 magic resist, so they obviously reduce a lot of damage. So your knockup can deal 520 damage at level 11. Your shielding is 430. This is with some Rod of Ages stacks obviously coming my way. You get 375 magic damage from your ultimate. Like, you can deal a pretty decent amount of damage, and you can shield for a significant amount as well, right? It looks like a tiny shield on the dummy, but it's because they've got a ridiculous amount of HP. So you can deal quite a lot of damage as AP RAKAN. Like, I'm kind of almost one-shotting the wolves here. So AP RAKAN clearly can deal a significant amount of damage. That's not really why I think AP RAKAN does so well, though. One of the reasons that I think AP RAKAN does so well is this ability here, Gleaming Quill. It can heal for 337 health, and I don't even think I'm at max Rod of Ages stacks right now. I don't know how I can tell how many Rod of Ages stacks I've got, but essentially, Gleaming Quill heals for a boatload of healing. Does a lot of damage as well, but it also heals for a crap ton. And the reason it heals for a crap ton is that it has a 70% AP scaling ratio. A 70% AP scaling ratio. This is one of the biggest single heals that you can get from anybody in the game. It's on a 10-second cooldown at base, but you can reduce that cooldown by leveling it, obviously. But obviously, any kind of ability haste that you put into your kit is clearly going to have an effect on the cooldown too. And the great thing about the healing from Gleaming Quill is that, let's say I level up, right? Let's go to the max level. The healing goes up minimally with the points that you put in it. So the damage obviously goes up, the base damage goes up, the more points that you put into Gleaming Quill. But the healing doesn't really change. The healing scales with your level for the most part with 70% AP ratio. So by the difference between having 1 point in your first ability and 4 points in your first ability in terms of the healing delivered is absolutely minimal. So with AP RAKAN, it becomes a bit of a 1-point wonder. You can get a huge burst of heal, and it doesn't really matter if you put more points into it because that healing is going to remain relatively consistent. And that is one of the main reasons why AP RAKAN is absolutely nutty. So that's why I like AP RAKAN, and a lot of people rush Rabadon's first, but I feel like the Rod of Ages build is a good medium between the two of them. Rod of Ages is really gold efficient for getting you AP. It gives you a lot of health and mana as well. Then Rabadon's to give you that massive burst in AP. And then later on, you might want to then start to think about picking up some tanky items, or you can go something like Harmonic Echoes, which gives you more AP, as well as a little bit of ability haste. But there is also Zeke's Convergence, which gives you some kind of resistances, which can help you out. And obviously then Athene's and Holy Grail later on because you are dealing damage, so therefore you're going to stack Athene's relatively easily. In terms of runes, I think you absolutely need Aftershock and AP RAKAN, mainly because if you don't, you're going to struggle to get away with any kind of engages. And I think it's also really good for the laning phase. Weakness, Loyalty, and Pack Hunter are my favorite support runes for most supports. And then obviously if you're playing AP RAKAN, or any RAKAN really, you probably want to run with Ignite, but force your AD carry to take heal. That's why I like AP RAKAN. If you enjoyed this, by the way, thanks to T2A for sponsoring the channel. There is a reference link in the description below. And also, if you want to get involved with the giveaway this month, it is just a comment on any video that you can throughout June, and I'll announce winners in July. Let's get into the game, however, so we can look at AP RAKAN in a challenger level lobby. Alright, so we're going to jump into a game here. I'm playing with Doom, who's the rank 1 player on the server. We were just duo queue a bit together. Now that I've hit Grandmaster, I can actually duo queue with some of my challenger friends. And I've got huge respect for Doom. He's been one of my favorite mobile MOBA players since Vainglory, so I was really happy to be playing with him. What I'm showing you here is live gameplay that I am that I am live commentating over. I would have shown you me playing this live, but the reason I didn't is because I was really boring and I was mostly silent because I was so heavily concentrating. And I find that when I'm playing at this level, it's really difficult. Now, this is a really good little early engage. I didn't need to go for the second shield here. I think Doom would have got the kill anyway. So I essentially gave first blood for free over to Soraka. Didn't need to do that. That was a mistake on my part. I felt like I wasn't going to die. I felt like I was in a good enough spot, but unfortunately, you know, dying there was unnecessary. So something that just didn't need to happen. This Soraka thinks that she can kill Doom. Doom manages to do a really good job here of just getting the second kill. So really overall kind of worth because Doom gets 2 kills and the Corki didn't get one and Soraka ends up getting first blood. And you might see where Doom has left the wave. Like Doom didn't kill this wave, he just backed. He realized he wasn't going to be able to push that wave into tower before Corki got back. And if you are backing, it's okay to lose a couple of minions if you're going to let that wave naturally push towards you. So this wave is now naturally pushing towards us. Doom missed 1 minion, but didn't miss any others to the tower. So that was a really sensible decision from Doom to let, if you get a double kill and the wave is big and stacking towards you and you don't have the time to push it into their tower before they get back, it's much better to let that wave come towards you because then you can start to put pressure on the enemy when they step up to try and take some minions again. This time, the Soraka just oversteps a little bit. You can notice that I stay in range until my aftershock damage comes off. As soon as I see the Olaf, I back out using the shield. We don't go any further on the fight for a good reason. There's no way that, even though we took the Soraka low, there's no way that we're going to win a 2 versus 3 versus a very early Olaf in the jungle, so just not possible. But clearly Rakan is a good pick into Soraka, mainly for this reason. Soraka doesn't deal very good with hard engage, so any champions that can engage onto her and she can't react very easily to, Soraka's pretty bad against. So for the most part, hard engage champs are always really strong versus Soraka. You just need to make sure you're not getting hit by those first abilities. Now we lock up the Corki here, he gets stunned. We go for a tower dive where Doom uses his ultimate. Unfortunately, Olaf turns up. Just one-shots me off the back of the tower. Doom tries to flash across the wall, but unfortunately he gets double killed by the Olaf. Luckily, we see the Akali rotating on the map, and the Camille is able to take out the Olaf with the rotate. Obviously, Zed's a little bit later here because Akali had priority. And then Zed ends up getting the kill. Obviously, the easy return kill onto a very low HP Camille. Luckily, our Akali is an absolute Giga Chad and picks up the second kill in return. So that's 2 kills onto Akali. Overall, the tower dive was worth, if not a little bit messy. We maybe gave a little too much gold over to the Olaf here. Now I see the Soraka and the Singed turn up in lane. I use the redemption maybe a little bit too far forward, but we do save the Akali's life. Now they're low. I thought this was a really good time to try and go for the engage. Unfortunately, Akali wasn't quite on the same page. I don't blame Akali for that, by the way. If I was duo queue with the Akali, I might have been able to say, like, let's go. I'm going to go for the engage, stick around. But obviously, this is a game where I'm not duo queue with the Akali. I'm duo queue with the Xayah, and clearly, good idea, but wasn't executed on well. So I'm duo queue with Doom here. Obviously, Xayah Rakan is a really strong lane. I think Rakan is much better when paired up with Xayah. And this is one of the games that I was trying out that AP Rakan build. Now, this is forcing out the Olaf. I thought he was going to walk upwards, which is why I actually used my preemptive dash that way. As you can see, though, we're just desperately trying to grab the dragon. I'm not interested in fighting very much right now. I just pop an ignite onto someone, onto the Olaf, to try and stop him from getting healed up. Garen still pretty strong. Akali still pretty strong. They joined the fight a little bit late. But, you know, Garen able to just sort of get a couple of kills here, which is really nice. I maybe could have used my redemption when I was dead to save him, but I thought probably not worth it. And then Akali, unfortunately, just isn't quite able to convert on those kills. So we actually kind of mess up, but we do get the dragon, which is the most important thing here. So picking up the dragon is the most important thing. You can see that the Corki and the Soraka are overstaying just a little bit at this point in time. And I kind of want to go for the engage. I have my ultimate in a few seconds, so I get an engage going through, but the knockup doesn't happen. I do have my ultimate, though, and as you can see, I have it ready to go. So if they step up again, I could just use my ultimate and try and pull them into a fight here. But I take a load of damage from Corki and Soraka, so it's kind of bad. I'm kind of inting right now. I have my knockup again, but I'm not really in place for it. I didn't have my shield to chain onto Doom. So we just kind of have to take the L here. Like, I could, if I had my ultimate earlier, I probably could have gone for the engage and try and picked it off. You can see we stopped Soraka, and actually we're trying to keep her under tower here, because Doom's able to clear the wave really quickly. Obviously, Corki's gone back, and so we're trying to just force a tower dive situation, which I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, just go for it. I kind of messed up a little bit, though, because Doom wasn't quite on the right page. Plus Soraka put a really good zoning eclipse down here, which just meant that if Doom stepped into it, he would have got stunned. And I also missed my knock up, so it wasn't the best outcome in the world. My early game has been pretty bad, though. I'm 0-3-3, so I haven't exactly had the most impact in the game. I've kind of just been getting destroyed pretty much 99 times out of 100. Get the Ignite onto the Soraka, though, which does give us a little bit of time. I try to do my best with the very early limited healing that I have. And you can see if I just had my knock-up available, I might have been able to trade back onto the Corki, but we just make a little error there. A double kill over to the Corki. Good reactions from the Corki, and they played that really well. I think maybe Soraka having flash kind of baited us a little bit. We assumed that she might have used it earlier on in that Dragon Team fight. But nonetheless, bit of a rocky early game, like 0-4-0, 0-4-4. Not exactly the most aesthetically pleasing score in the world. And of course, when you're trying to play AP Rakan, if you get that gold to accelerate your AP build, it's always very good. So when you're playing a support like Rakan, one of the best win conditions that you can have in the game is roaming. Like, you're a very strong roam support because you have a lot of CC, a lot of ability to chain together and sort of get into fights, as you can see here. Now, with Singe appearing in this fight, and with us not seeing where the Zed is either, this is just a good idea to back off. Like, Zed picks up the first turret of the game in mid, so they've actually got a really decent amount of gold in their back pocket. And actually Zed, despite complaining consistently in all chat, they've actually had a relatively decent early games. Even though he's spamming FF for some reason, they've actually had a relatively decent early game.
On my way.
So one of the things I've got redemption first, obviously. Like, one of the things I've picked up first to ensure that I've got a strong teamfight presence is redemption. I have a potential to engage onto Corki, but I think the best option is to go for the Soraka here. I do manage to land the charm onto the Zed in the middle of the team fight, which is nice. I kind of baited by making it look like I was going for Corki. So I sort of walked towards Corki in that team fight. In fact, I'll go back and show you again. It wasn't that impressive, but it's just something that you should be aware of when maybe looking to do team fights. So I'm going to use my little arrows. So Corki's going to appear here, okay, on the map. Corki's going to appear here. As you can see, Soraka oversteps and gets caught out by the Camille in this fight over here. Now watch. I walk towards Corki to make it look like I'm going to use... I'd sort of dash onto Doom and make it look like I'm going to try and knock up Corki. He immediately uses his Valkyrie, which takes him out of the fight. I then turn and go for the knock-up onto the Soraka and the Singed. So I force Corki out of the fight by threatening a jump onto him, just by using Doom as my leverage point. And then I jump onto the Soraka, who is an easier kill and sets up nicely for my team. And that then is allowing us to use the Rift Herald to take the mid lane tower. Bit of an overstep from the Camille, but luckily she escapes off the back of that fight. And we pick up the bot lane tower as well because Doom's down there pushing the wave by himself. So a good push by Doom off the back of that fight. Zed's still perma complaining, by the way. Hate it when people whine in all chat. I usually have all chat turned off, but a lot of people like to talk to me in all chat. Like, I get a lot of people saying, hey, Excoundrel, nice to play versus you, which is really nice. I like that kind of thing. I used to have all chat turned off, though, because and Zed's one of the main reasons I have all chat turned off. People just permanently chatting rubbish in all chat. Like, what's the point? No one cares, Zed. Literally, no one cares. No one cares that you're having a bad game and you're blaming your team for it. So again, like in a team fight, you just want to get Soraka. Like, if there's a Soraka on the enemy team and you can focus her first, just kill her. That makes the enemy team 10 times less useful because they don't have the utility of another support. Now, obviously, the Zed he's going to kill Doom here. There's nothing we can really do to save him. I tried to go for the knock-up as a potential, but Doom was dead in the water at that point. He was such low HP. Really, again, Zed's really complaining here, but actually, he's playing pretty well. Now, I do manage to keep myself alive here. That obviously, like, I can't really help the Garen at this point. He's going to get, like, chased down by the Corki and the Singed. It was the best I could do in that scenario. Garen picks up a kill on the Zed, but a shutdown does go over to Corki. Unfortunately, we kind of played the back end of that fight pretty bad after getting the Soraka. And the rest of my team kind of got wiped out. So their team's still doing really well. Their team is still doing really well. But I've managed to get my Rod of Ages. I'm now working towards my Rabadon's Death Cap, and you really need to just pay attention to how insane the heals are. You just need to pay attention to how insane the heals are. The heals on Rakan with just a couple of AP items are absolutely nutty. There are some instances later on where you're going to see I basically like quarter HP the Camille in really weird scenarios. So the healing is like the main reason AP Rakan I think is pretty good. Otherwise, I don't really see much value going AP Rakan over something like just like your traditional Rakan. So I go for the knock-up onto the Zed, but he uses his ultimate to bait really nicely. Then we have a bait from the Camille with her Zhonya's, but that allows Zed to flash out. So it was just really well played from the Zed. Like, I timed the knock-up, but Zed was instantly able to Zhonya's, which means he kind of got out of it. Then Camille Zhonya's his ultimate, which I'm not entirely sure that she needed to do so. We're forcing the ultimate out of the Olaf here is really nice. I also popped the ignite on him, and you'll notice in just a few moments he ends up dying. That's a really big pickup because that now does allow us some space around the Baron. Not that we can go for Baron, but we can definitely put vision down or try and bait the enemy team into sort of making awkward decisions around the Baron pit, which is one of the main reasons. Singed massively oversteps here, so we're just basically all collapsing on him. There's no reason not for us not to do this. It's not like they can go and take an objective on the other side of the map, or they can rush Baron because their jungler's dead. So Singed is absolutely dead here. As you can see, I get rooted up by the Eclipse. I now have an ignite on me, which means I'm just going to use my flash to back. This is insane for me, by the way. I use my flash to ignore the majority of the damage, then redemption myself away from low HP. I want to watch that again because that was actually like there's not many points in the game where I have really Smurf moments, but that was one of those points in the game. Okay, watch this, right? Going in, this is dumb. This is really dumb. I could walk out of this any day of the week. I get locked up, ignited, I miss my knockup, but then I immediately charm Zed so he can't really do much damage, and then I flash straight out, away from his shadow, away from him on top of me, dodge out a Corki missile, and heal myself with the redemption. Zed burnt a lot of resources to kill me. No reason to do that, apart from, killing me would have meant very little anyway in the grand scheme of things. And then Corki flashes out of the feather range, which is actually pretty good from the Corki. But that's another really strong team fight from us. Like, that's another really strong team fight from us. And now my score has gone from 0-4-4 to 1-4-12, which is a really good score. Now, there are pings for Baron. Like, Olaf is dead for 20 seconds. It's a relatively good option to go for. But watch how much I heal for, right? Watch how much I heal the Camille for, right? I healed myself for a decent amount there. So the reason that we could potentially threaten the Baron is because the healing is still pretty strong from AP Rakan. But we don't go for it because there's too many people up on their side. It would have been a risky Baron to go for. But I'm healing for quite a lot. And now I've picked up another rod. We're in a situation where obviously Rabadons is on the horizon. We only need about 400 or 500 more gold for Rabadons. And then suddenly we're going to be healing for a load and load. Now, I don't think they're going Baron. They could have very easily threatened it with the Olaf because we all backed. But it would have been a very risky decision from them. You might notice also that I've kept the warding trinket for a very long time. There is a reason I like keeping warding trinket for a very long time in solo queue. It's because a lot of people kind of just forget to put wards down, and so I just like having the option for wards in solo queue. Now I get taken very low here. That's one of the big problems with AP Rakan. You get one chance to go in. Usually that one chance needs to set up the win in a team fight, and then you're just basically down to about a quarter HP. That's one of the major problems with AP Rakan, if I'm honest with you. Now we get the killing spree onto the Olaf. The Zed does kind of pop off again, and I'm trying to like wait for a chance to get over to the wall here, but unfortunately I'm not able to. Now I go for a knockup. Like, I'm going to die to the Singed 100%. I was just trying to set up so that my team could potentially get the kill on him, but my Akali's too low, and Garen can't really chase him. So unfortunately for me, I overstepped just a little bit with the Singed there. And Zed, despite his complaining, is like the one guy that's keeping their team in it. Like, he's constantly able to trade kills back and forth. Now, the dragon is obviously something that we need to be a little aware of, because we have no one on the map. Everyone on their team is up. They're able to kind of just rush the Baron in this scenario. And Doom is pretty low. Garen's, not exactly healthy. Camille's not quite at the dragon pit yet, and I'm dead. So clearly, like, there is a bit of a problem for us to kind of go for the engage around the dragon here. And Garen already gets taken super low. I use my redemption where they stood to try and give them enough HP back. And actually, you can see, like, despite everybody going pretty low, the enemy team doesn't feel like they have enough priority to force this dragon down. With Doom having double buffs as well, he's pretty strong on the Xayah, and yeah, it gives us enough space to just go straight for the dragon, and for some reason they don't want to contest. I'm guessing it's because Xayah is too strong at this point, and I was able to get back onto the map, and they didn't feel confident without having a big man advantage. So there are pings for Baron now. Like, there are pings for setting up around the Baron pit, which you can see here. Like, again, just getting into there. This is what getting the mid lane tower allows you to do. Like, with the mid lane tower down, it's much easier for us to walk into their jungle and look for picks, because they just don't have the control over the mid lane anymore. Now, I don't know what my Akali and my Camille are doing in this scenario. Like, they're just kind of turbo sprinting it. I'm waiting around for the Camille to try and protect her if I have to give her like a knock up to get out. The best thing that we can do now is take that River Scuttler, because obviously going for Baron is probably out of the question at this point. I get a knock up onto the Soraka, immediately into a charm, looking for a charm onto the Singed, which I don't quite hit because I flashed the wrong way for some reason. But that's enough of a team fight engage for us to get the win here. And then Singed taken very low, as you can see. I do walk into his poison, which is a bit of a meme. There is a Zed kind of hanging around, which is why I'm not going back towards the Fog of War here, because there was a Zed in that area. As you can see, he's just like right next to me, and he's going to go for, he was trying to go for an engage, but that's why I was on alert the entire time, because I knew the Zed was nearby. He ults onto Doom, but unfortunately he doesn't have the damage to take Doom down at this point in time, and so we are kind of able to come out of that with burning the Zed ultimate. And then they decide to go to the Baron. Now watch the healing, right? Watch this. Healed. I actually healed for a significant amount. Like, I was like looking at myself thinking, wow, that's a lot of healing on like a you know, a burst healing as well. Good knock up onto the Corki, by the way. Immediately he gets locked up and we get the Baron, which is like an insane, really, really nice play, and gives us a major advantage in the game now. Not that we didn't already have a major advantage with 30 to 18. Like, we've been able to take control of the game for quite some time now. And this is where I decided to go for some resistances, because what you're noticing about AP Rakan in fights is that once you make the engage happen, so you go for the grand entrance into the... Hey, that was me checking the healing in the game, by the way. I was like, wow, that's a lot of healing I was doing. The grand entrance into the quickness, you know, you usually are then having to exit the fight, and you can't really enter the fight easily. So that's why on AP Rakan you have to be very careful about the places that you choose to engage, and you have to make sure that the engages count. So that's why I didn't go for the quickness there, because I didn't think the engage was going to count. I thought, well, it's a knock-up, but my team weren't really ready to go much further with it. And that's why I saw the Zed, and I just quicknessed everybody under the tower, and I thought, that's probably good enough. I knocked the Zed up, they get the kill. That was a really nice play, because it distracted the people under the tower enough for my team to get the Zed. We have the Baron pushing down the middle. That was the play that essentially sealed us the game, and we end the game at 1-5-20 with AP Rakan, which is pretty good. And this build, like, it has its strengths and weaknesses. Like, this build does have its strengths and weaknesses. One of the strengths is that you can make really big plays. One of the weaknesses is that clearly you are very, very squishy. Oh, I've gone back to the start. Clearly you're very, very squishy. So, like, AP Rakan, great healing, a lot of damage. You can make a big single play, but usually that one single play is the play that needs to be defining for the team fight. If you make a bad play, you don't really have the resistances or the HP or just the tankiness to be able to survive and look for another re-engage. You have to kind of reset and go back and try again later. So there are swings and roundabouts to AP Rakan, but I think he's pretty strong, and I actually prefer playing it in solo queue because you have a little bit more agency than just tanky Rakan. So I think it's better in solo queue than in sort of going the tanky Rakan build, because you have more agency, and good Rakan players will make this build feel really good. All right, guys, that was everything. I'll see you soon.